Get the behind-the-scenes information on the breweries and beers you love with What's on Tap's Brewery Sessions.
So, 7venth Son's killing it right now.
Thanks, man.
I know, you just like off of your World Beer Cup awards.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So, what's going on, man? It's been a year since we talked to you last.
A lot's going on. We opened our new brewery in Tampa, our new production facility that has a large wood cellar included in it, so we're excited about that. We added a canning line, and our production's pretty much like a little bit quadrupled right now, about. So
yeah, I mean,
we have a lot more staff and a lot of great.
A lot of things to add. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah. We've got some new, really talented people working for us that we're happy to have, and allows us to keep traveling. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, congratulations on your win at World Beer Cup.
Thank you. That means a lot. We're really passionate about that style of beer, so it really meant a lot for us to be recognized for that.
And you brought the Saison out today.
Yeah. And we have the award was for our quadruple.
Okay.
And Devin would know. I'm not sure if we have it here or not. It's hard to keep everything straight with all these great beers here.
All right. So what's happening right now?
Today we have our Made in the Sun. It's a barley wine, English style. That's a bit sweet, aged on made coffee. That's produced in Tampa, roasted in Tampa.
Yeah.
As a non-coffee drinker, I find it to be quite delightful. It's my only form of coffee that I have is this barley wine. And then we have a collaboration beer that we did with a local brewery called Tampa Bay Brewing Company. It's been around about 20 years. We did a 100% Britannomyces Saison-style grist, fermented with black currants and blackberries in a 5-barrel foeder. And it's kind of a young beer, and that makes it a little unique. It hasn't developed tartness or anything yet. I think it's really delightful to have. I sampled it right off of the foeder. I thought it was fantastic the way it was, so I think that's what you're having right now.
It's actually what I'm having right now. It is spectacular. Yeah. So clean and so fresh and just like unbelievably good.
As we drink a lot more tart beers as they become more popular and they're more accessible everywhere, I thought it'd be kind of fun to introduce a beer that was a bit younger.
Yeah. That's really great. And what made you go with, like, since you're not a coffee drinker, how do you, like, find coffee beers?
Well, everyone on the staff is a coffee drinker but me.
Okay.
So they all came up with this concoction themselves.
So do you drink tea instead?
Oh, absolutely.
So have you done about doing, like, an Earl Grey tea?
Oh, I've done a lot of that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I think I'm the only one that likes that.
Okay. Because I know, like, a lot of breweries now are getting into tea-styled beers.
Our first tea beer was 7 years ago that we did.
Oh, wow.
And by tea, we weren't using like a leaf tea. We were using just dried fruits.
Okay.
And I guess that would be classified as a tea at the time, because I bought it from a friend of mine that blends teas. And she just removed all the leaf product and left the different components of dried fruit and coconut and things like that. And we started adding it to Berliner Weiss. And I guess it would be our first attempt at what a Florida Weiss is now.
Okay.
Where now we've moved to using fresh fruit.
I'm sorry. What is a Florida Weiss? Because I've heard that mentioned in like a few different podcasts talking about Florida Weiss.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
Florida Weiss it came about just because so many brewers started doing the kettle sour style in Florida. It kind of makes sense with our warm climate. It's very refreshing. And as it was just a really good foundation or background to add fruit to, with all those different components of a kettle sour beer and lactobacillus. So as we started to add fruit, which we have a lot of access to in our climate, it took on some interesting colors and really captured a larger audience of that style of brewing. So everybody started doing it. And I guess that's why it's termed Florida Weiss. In my opinion, it could be Wisconsin Weiss if it wanted to be. Anywhere that has fruit could call it their own. But,
because I had never really heard that term until I was listening to another podcast. They're talking about a Florida Weiss. I was like, what the shit is that? I mean, that seems like such a Berliner Weiss, but geared just toward the Florida market.
Yeah, I guess there's not really a style, so to speak, for that. our competition that we have within our own state of all the Florida breweries has a category for Florida Vice now.
Okay. It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah.
Like there's such a subset of a subset that it's become its own thing.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty amazing if you think about like the modern brewery and the way things are going and the way things are evolving, that Florida can develop its own unique style within that.
I guess it'd be like the New England IPA, so to speak.
But it's a Florida Vice.
But applied to, Berliner Weiss,
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Any question for us?
What?
Exactly.
What?
All right.
Have you talked about the new location?
No. Tell us about the new location.
Yeah. That's the place where we opened our production facility with the new wood cellar, and we partnered with Cigar City.
Okay.
We're making sour beers alongside with them, and it's been pretty awesome. So we have access to all their fun toys in their labs to help aid our new project of producing a large volume of sour beer. And we have a new canning line. So that's kind of exciting as well.
How has the new canning line changed things for you?
That's my job now, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So it changed my life dramatically. It's like having a newborn child, I would say. Requires a lot of attention, but it's cool. Our fans are really excited about it. To see our cans in the market and to have beer to go easily, grab a 6-pack. It's a lot of fun.
So you're seeing a lot more out-the-door sales than before.
Absolutely. Yeah, probably doubled our sales.
So is that like a new way forward for you, just to do more out-the-door sales? And 'cause it seems like in America, that's become a real key marketing opportunity for you.
Yeah, we would refer to that as our kind of our retail income source. So we have our own tap room that operates like a bar, and we also can sell beer to go like a package store, and it's a great source of income for us. It really allows us to grow, not only 7th Son, but a lot of breweries in the area, grow our businesses a lot easier than seeking the massive distribution.
Okay.
It allows us to stay creative too. We can do a lot of different more styles.
I mean, the Florida marketplace has got to be just incredibly tight right now. I mean, it seems like there's a new brewery popping up every week down there.
Yeah, and especially in Tampa. We're over 80 breweries in Tampa now.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So most of them are pretty small.
Yeah?
Yeah, we see a lot more what we refer to as a nano size opening versus like the large packaging breweries. That room at the top has become a little fuller. But it doesn't take as much capital to open a small brewery, and it's a little more romantic and engaging for the beer enthusiasts to sit down and have a beer inside a small tasting room with a small brewery. That's the new thing right now.
So how do you see the craft brewery beer space competing against like traditional bar scene?
That's a great question, and they are noticing that impact a lot. We notice it because the retailers are buying less beer from us through distribution because they are a little bit slower. Now that there's so many options to go have beer made from the source, it does impact the tap houses. Unless the tap house provides something fairly unique as far as an experience, whether it's axe throwing or shuffleboard or something like that, something really bizarre, why not just go have the beer fresh from the source, right? I mean, they're everywhere now. They're on pretty much every corner. It feels like there's a brewery. So the things are changing there.
Well, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
It was great catching up with you.
Absolutely.
And 7th Son seems to be growing and growing and growing. So
yes, thankfully.
I hope to see you guys more and more over here in Copenhagen and the European market. So
Indeed.
good talking to you.
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a great rest of the week.
So welcome, Tim, to What's on Tap podcast, and you are...
I'm Tim Adams. I'm the founder of Oxbow Brewing Company.
All right, and where are you based out of?
We got 2 locations. The brewery's in Newcastle, Maine. For all those that don't know American geography, not that you should, Maine's the most northeastern state, right up into Canada there almost. And a lot of woods. We brew out in the woods. And well water. All our beer, we make farmhouse beers, really specific focus. And we also got a room in Portland that's like our barrel room, blending, bottling.
Yeah.
So,
Maine is like this hidden gem of breweries. Like, I don't think people really understand like what's happening in Maine right now.
It's pretty crazy. Portland, Maine actually is the most breweries per capita of any city in the world.
Really?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I thought it was San Diego.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, it helps because we don't have very many people. You know,
okay.
We got
That's
like
what it is.
65,000 people and like 35 breweries.
Holy shit,
just
that's
in
amazing.
the city. But yeah, Maine's like 1.2, 1.3 million, and we've got about 125 breweries.
That is
so
incredible.
yeah, it's nuts.
So it's like what, every block there's a new brewery?
Yeah.
Wow. How do you compete in a market like that?
We try. I mean, we just do our own thing, which is our own focus. So we kind of have our unique identity. So it's, you know, if we were making 4 packs of 16-ounce IPAs, it would be a matter of competition. But it's kind of, we just do our Oxbow thing, and we're the only ones that do the Oxbow thing.
Yeah, okay, of course.
Yeah.
So what do you specialize in?
Farmhouse ales.
Okay.
That's all that we make. We actually do have one Pilsner because brewers need a Pilsner
Yeah, of
to
course.
have on hand.
Yeah.
So we got a Pils. But we do farmhouse ales of different types, and then we also do spontaneous fermentation. We've got a cool ship.
Nice.
And so we do make 100% spontaneous beers. I was actually just in Belgium. We were really honored. We were pouring at the Nachte van de Grote Dorst Festival, which was really cool. There's 3 American breweries this year.
Yeah.
So, and of course we're walking in the shadows of giants with Allagash Brewing in Maine.
It's only been Allagash in the American breweries.
Exactly,
that, Not fun to go to the doors, right?
Yeah, and Allagash are our friends and our heroes, and certainly like major inspiration for us.
Yeah.
So this is your first time to Mikkeller Beer Celebration?
It's the second time to Mikkeller Beer Celebration in Copenhagen, and we've also done the one in the States every time that they've done that, and we're
Boston one?
Yeah. And then we're gonna be going to Tokyo this fall too.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. I don't know how we missed you last year, but holy shit, I'm drinking was the peach one?
Momoko, yeah.
Yeah, it's so fucking good, man.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting process on that one. Peaches, they grow okay in Maine, but the truth is you go further south and you get better peaches.
It's really a Georgia southern kind of
Even
fruit.
like Pennsylvania, like the soil content in some farms in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania is fairly similar to that Georgia soil, so they can grow really nice peaches. So we work with a farm there, and we actually do a press on those peaches and allow a spontaneous fermentation to occur from the peach skins, and then we're blending that with some different barrel beers, whatever the flavor necessitates to get what we want to get.
So why spontaneous fermentation beers? I mean, that's kind of a gamble, it seems like.
Of course, but I mean, Belgian beer is my biggest source of inspiration, and I love Lambic and Goose and Creek and all this stuff, and so, not that we could ever recreate that, but I felt that we could do our own version, and of course, Allagash paved the way for that as well, and then at our brewery, we've got an orchard, and we've got lots of nice, fruits and flowers and bees, and a lot of good microflora. So we thought we might have good results with our cool ship, and it's been very successful.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is unbelievably good, and I'm so glad to see that the U.S. marketplace is really opening up in a way that allows for breweries to do these kind of more experimental, kind of unusual beer styles.
Yeah.
So have you seen a real progression in the Maine beer market for this?
Not really in Maine. I mean, we've got a lot of breweries, but very few of them are focusing on mixed fermentation and aged beers. It's mostly an IPA game. That being said, there's a couple folks are starting to get into it and do some more stuff. But yeah, it's definitely more New England's IPA land for the most part.
Yeah, I can see that. It seems like that's the kind of the biggest game in town right now, but the sour and the mixed beer, the mixed fermentation process seems to be on the rise, and it feels like you guys are kind of on the forefront of that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're part of the, kind of the earlier, obviously, you got the guys Allagash and Russian River and Lost Abbey and those guys that were the first American brewers to do these traditional, American interpretations of traditional Belgian
West
styles.
Coast stuff. Now we're talking East Coast. I mean, that's
right.
a new
Well,
game.
Allagash is right on that team.
Okay, yeah.
But then, about 7-8 years ago, there was a few breweries that opened up in the States that had a focus on it, like Hill Farmstead in Vermont, Jester King in Texas, us in Maine. We all were kind of the same time, sort of inspired by the, obviously the Belgian guys, and then that first wave of American producers like that. And since then, there's been a handful, obviously, like a bunch that have opened up, a bunch of really cool stuff. You guys should definitely check out the Fonta Flora beers. I don't know if you had a chance to try those.
North Carolina, yeah, they're
but
really great stuff.
but those guys, you know, we share a similar mentality, and yeah, there's a lot of inspiring beer getting brewed around the States right now.
Do you do a lot of collabs, or?
We do a lot of collabs, yeah. Yeah, we definitely do.
Is it helping spread the awareness and sharing the wealth?
Totally. I mean, first and foremost, it's like we only brew collabs with breweries that we're friends with and we want to spend time with, and also that we respect each other's philosophies and think that there's something that both parties can learn. So I've learned a lot from collabs. I think breweries that we've collaborated with have learned from us, and we've just had fun and grown, and at the same time created something for the world to drink. So I like collabs.
Oh, for sure.
It's always a fun time, right?
Yeah.
So what do you have coming up? What are you looking forward to in the future?
Let's see. What are we looking forward to in the future? I mean, beer-wise, we've got a new brewing system that we're putting together right now, which I'm really grateful for because we've been brewing on the same 7-barrel. It's like a 9 hectoliter system. Been brewing on that for 7 years now, and it's all. There's no grain. We're just pouring the bags in and stirring them, and it's all very romantic, but just fucking tiring. Yeah. And now we're gonna get close. This year we'll do closer to like 3,000 hectoliters of beer. Wow. So that's a lot on when you're doing it 9 hec at a time. And the truth is, with nicer equipment, we're going to be able to make better beers. So it's like, we do everything we can to make the best possible beer, but there comes a point where the fact is you need to invest some money to get some equipment to get your quality to the next level. So I'm really excited for that.
So do you mostly sell in the Maine market, or are you looking to expand beyond that?
No, Maine's our main focus, and we have 2 tap rooms of our own, one at our blending room and then one at the brewery. But we sell beer all up and down the East Coast. New York City's a good market for us, DC, Philly, and then we work with the Shelton brothers for periodic drops, like West Coast. We're about to send a little bit of beer to LA. We're doing a couple festivals out there this summer, and then internationally, we'll do a couple drops every year to a couple different places. So always send a little bit of beer to Italy, send a little beer to Japan, a little bit of beer to Denmark, and we just were pouring beer in Belgium for the first time, which was a big honor, like I was telling you guys. So I like going internationally. I get really inspired when I go and see international brewers and taste the beers, and I always come home feeling fresh and full of ideas.
Who's inspired you this time around?
I mean, we spent a bunch of time at Mikkeller Beer Celebration and a bunch of time at 7venth. And I was already very inspired by those beers and those brewers, but just anytime I go back and seeing what they're doing new is inspiring. And then also, I was in Latvia, and I was experiencing some of the traditional takes on Latvian farmhouse ales, which is a lot of herbs and spices, which is not a road that we've really gone down yet, but we have so much stuff growing at our brewery that I want to use. So
thyme and sage and coriander. And
exactly.
Like
so there's this brewery in Latvia called Labietis, and they're in Riga, and that was very inspiring to spend time with them and to taste their beers.
Okay. So, Shelton Brothers is a name that I've seen a lot associated with smaller breweries and in the U.S., but in Europe they're relatively unknown. But from what I understand, they're kind of like the go-to distributor for small breweries. Is that works? Or they did the big Shelton Brothers Festival in Atlanta.
It changes every year.
Yeah. Okay.
First and foremost, they're an importer.
Okay.
So there's several importers to the U.S. Obviously, Shelton Brothers is one of the biggest. They import Mikkeller and a lot of the brands that are here. They're bringing in beers from around the world, sending them around the states. But they also help with smaller U.S. breweries, because instead of having to get a different because it's all fucked in the states with different laws in every state. You got to have a wholesaler and all this stuff. So Shelton just kind of makes it easy, one-stop shop for a small brewer. Of course. They can take your beer, and they work with quality distributors around the country, so they can send small drops to lots of different places. So they've helped a lot of small breweries.
So where can we find Oxbow in the U.S.? Is it just in Maine, or can we find it in other states?
East Coast, man. I mean, if you go to New York City, you can find it. You go to D.C., you can find it. Philly. But Maine's the best to drink Oxbow at our brewery. That's the place.
Any other questions?
Nope. I think I'm good.
All right.
I really appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Nice chatting with you guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, please come visit sometime.
Oh, we will. I will. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheers, you guys.
All All right, so we're here at Founders, and we're joined once again to wrap it all up with the head brewer of Founders again.
Hello.
How's it going?
Great.
Great, man. Welcome back.
Glad to be here again.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have just been like, I want to say kind of killing it in the past year, like since you've reintroduced your barrel age process with CBS and Fruitwood and like so many barrel age things going on right now.
Yeah, we're keeping busy with that for sure.
No kidding.
We're 20,000 bourbon barrels right now, full of goodness, various goodness.
So that's amazing.
Did you say 20,000 bourbon barrels?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
How do you keep track of all that?
Spreadsheets, I guess.
So what do you decide to do bourbon barrel aged at this point?
Well, what was that?
What do you decide, like what's going to be barrel aged and what's not?
Well, you know, we do a lot of experimenting, so we try a lot of different brands, and fortunately we have a pretty awesome tap room back home to release some of these projects and get some feedback if it's any good or not. And you know, at this point we're working on bringing back some classics from the past and inventing some new stuff too. So
yeah, I mean, like CBS was a huge like oh my god kind of thing. Like a lot of people were like, oh, they're never going to bring that back. And then,
CBS was a big deal when that came out again. So what made you like bring out CBS again? Was it like marketing feedback, like people feedback? Did you see a big resurgence? Like
yeah, I mean, people always love that beer. It's and we just, I think, getting our hands on more of those maple syrup barrels is really what's kind of opened that door. So.
Yeah. So why such a dedication to the barrel aged series?
Because it's fun. You know, we're kind of a volume driven brewery now with brands like All Day and Solid Gold and barreling is it's kind of a way to get back to something a little more rare, something that takes a little more time. You know, the higher end stuff. You know, it keeps it interesting, keeps it fun, and our fans all like that. We like playing with it back home too. So.
Yeah, because Founders is kind of one of those unique. It's in a very unique position that you're not one of the big guys, but in the craft beer world, you are the big guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, how do you keep establishing yourself and proving yourself in a world like how do you keep the brand fresh and how do you keep innovating and bring things out? Because I got to say that like Founders is still one of my favorite breweries, and I always look forward to you guys. But I mean, you're competing in a very volatile marketplace these days.
Sure, it is. You know, there's a lot of great breweries, a lot of highly anticipated beers coming out. You know, I think the key to our success is just you know, focusing on making tasty beers that are consistently high quality, that are priced well and that are available. You know, that's I think that's rather than jumping on trends and stuff. I think is something we can afford to avoid at this point. We just keep on doing what we're doing, and you know, we just celebrated 20 years last year, and
nice.
It's amazing. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, there aren't so many breweries that haven't been bought up that have been around for 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of breweries, but there aren't many that still remain independent at this point.
Yeah.
And you guys are kind of like the godfathers of a brewery at this point.
Well, we have been around a while, and we're growing. I mean, we're top 10 volume producers in America right now. So
what's the yearly volume in America right now?
Last year we did 545,000 hectoliters of beer.
Jesus!
Wow.
Holy shit!
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking impressive.
It's a lot of beer. It's you know, but we've assembled a pretty awesome team all the way through production with our quality and then out in the field with the sales team and you know, the marketing department's pretty extensive and they do a great job too. And it's just it takes a whole team, it takes a whole army of us to pull this off. And everybody loves what they're doing. Everybody loves being a part of Founders and gets behind the brand and the people that work there.
So you've got like KBS, CBS, Fruitwood, DKML. What's coming up next?
What is coming up next? What can we talk about?
I guess we can talk about Barrel Runner or Barrel Runner. That's what we're calling it now.
Oh yeah, it is coming out next.
We're going to have a release in Sweden of Dankwood. It's a bourbon barrel-aged red IPA. So it's basically bourbon barrel-aged Ridiculous, which actually has had a really nice following in Sweden the last couple of years.
Yeah, Ridiculous has been one of my favorite beers.
Yeah. Glad to hear it.
We got to move over. Sorry.
And then I guess we just announced Barrel Runner. That is, to my understanding, and Jeremy can talk more about it, but it's one on a departure for us. We've kind of secured some rum barrels. Okay. So we're releasing our first rum barrel aged beer.
Yep.
Nice. It's essentially rum barrel aged Mosaic Promise, and highlights some of the. Just gonna stop.
Yeah. It's okay.
You're not gonna hear that at all. So yeah, it's rum barrel aged Mosaic Promise. So Jeremy, I think highlighting some of the more tropical flavors of Mosaic Promise are single hop, single malt, Mosaic hop, and Golden Promise malt, kind of smash beer.
Yeah, I think the Mosaic hops and the flavors from the rum barrel play real nice together. Real tropical, fruity. Kind of reminds me of like a tiki drink, it's like a Mai Tai or something. It's got that feel.
Nice. This is a lot of fun. So, non-barrel aged, what are you guys doing?
Solid Gold's taken off for us pretty good. That's our stab at a premium lager. It's just crushable. It's priced well. It's kind of an opportunity to go after, some people that might not normally drink craft beer. So,
I gotta say, one of the things that amazed me with Founders just now with the CBS release as well was the price at Systembolaget. Because CBS was a highly sought after beer, and it was priced at like what, $76.90 at Systembolaget, something like that.
69.
69.
Yeah, 67.
Yeah. That's incredible for like the hype that's around that beer.
Yeah.
And just you had a lot of it coming over as well for Sweden.
And if you were lucky and you lived in Angelholm, they
still have it.
No, they mispriced it and they put it out on the shelf at 39 crown per
bottle. Really?
Shit.
Wow. So there was like 2 cases that went out at 39 crown per bottle. So some people got really, really lucky. No, I think that really just speaks to Systembolaget and the monopolies thinking of bringing good beer to the people, and their mission originally was to, I guess, be prohibitive in drinking, right, and retard the drinking habits of Swedes.
Exactly.
But really, I think the thinking is now about promoting breweries, especially there's a big onslaught now of good Swedish breweries. They're focused there. They have the buying power that they can take a slimmer margin and still be profitable. And I applaud them for being reasonable when they price our beer. It's no secret that the alcohol tax laws in Sweden are a bit aggressive.
Yeah.
And with a 11 or 12% barrel aged beer, the pricing on that after you apply tax is maybe more aggressive than we would like it to be. But again, I applaud them as a retailer to price the beer right and to do the right thing by it and get the beer out to the people. It does no good if they artificially price the beer high.
No,
exactly true. How are they serving anybody by that? So,
judging by how the rebrew of CBS tastes like and what the price point is, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
So we did when it first came out on taps in Sweden, we did a review of it, and it was just like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, it's so good. It's like it lived up to like all the hype that we'd ever heard.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and
hype's dangerous.
The hype is dangerous.
Hype is extremely dangerous. And I got to say that Founders is one of those breweries that is like it's the establishment almost. Like you expect like amazing beers from Founders every time out of the gate. And that's got to be a lot of intensity to live up to be able to say like this is our new beer. This is what we're putting out. How do you test that? How do you deal with that?
Well, it's I just hope that our reputation carries us and people are willing to give it a shot, even though it's maybe not a style you're either familiar with or don't particularly like. I think that it's I think people understand that if it's Founders, it's probably done well regardless of what it is, and just just try to keep kicking out quality products.
We have a small incubator program as well. So you guys do see a bit of the Brewmasters Reserve series in Sweden. So that's kind of a firm where we get some return on being able to get some interesting new beer out into markets that normally they would just be in our tap room. But now we've pushed in limited quantities them out into the world, and getting feedback from consumers and from retailers on things that maybe we make a lot of beer. I mean, we have Jeremy, how many beers a year do you put through the tap room and go to the market? 100, right? So we have roughly about, give or take, 30 beers coming into Sweden this year, but we have at the brewery another 100 beers maybe going through the tap room. So now if we get 6 or 7 of these out into the market over the course of the year, we get actual market feedback. We get feedback from the beer geeks, we get feedback from our retailers, we get feedback from anyone that comes to events and tries them, and it gives us the added benefit of staying a little relevant with some interesting new beer and being able to get off core a little bit and just bring some fun stuff and keep things interesting. So we use that to our advantage when picking new beers.
Perfect. Yeah, I think Founders is one of my flagship breweries. I always go to you guys. Something new comes out, always looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what you're doing next. And I thank you guys for your time today and wrapping up Mikkeller Beer Celebration.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you guys so much.
Great chance.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, cheers.
Thanks.